Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Pace Farm Eggs.
Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Classic Restos. This week in the automotive epicentre here in Detroit. But before we go any further, here are the people that help to make Classic Restos happen each and every week just for us. Call Shannons on 134646 for a quote, sign up for the Shannons Club and inquire about multi-policy discounts. It's all awaiting you at shannons.com.au. Oils, coolants and additives, choose Penrite, Australian owned and made, and their technical assistance team can help you 7 days a week. See more at penriteoil.com.au. For some of the largest range of tools for all trades and DIYs, don't go past Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Shop online at machineryhouse.com.au. Hare and Forbes has the range. And on this week's show, it has to be a split episode. And the reason it has to be a split episode, because here in the United States, there is just so much to see. First, it's a return to the Woodward Dream Cruise, and then there is something else.
Fletch, who is this guy? He was supposed to be here at 10. It's only 6:30.
But here is a little Woodward Avenue Dream Cruise sample. The largest rolling horsepower celebration in the world. There would not be a calculator on the planet that could add up the cubic capacity of what turns up here. An 11-mile stretch of road, over 30,000 classic vehicles, well over 1 million people to bump into. This is the Woodward Dream Cruise, and there is no duplication. In August 1995, Nelson House and a group of volunteers looked to relive and recreate the nostalgic heydays of the 1950s and 60s, when youth, music and Motor City steel roamed Woodward Avenue, termed as America's first highway. That year, 250,000 people participated, nearly 10 times the number expected. The rest, as they say, is history. Today, the Woodward Dream Cruise is the world's largest rolling automotive event that lasts for just one day. But it's almost a week of cruising beforehand as everyone arrives with their classics. Woodward depicts a time of street racing by manufacturers to test and try out their cars. It creates memories of time for some that built a life around roller skating waitresses, sporting white bobby socks, and serving trays delivering hamburgers and milkshakes, to duck-tailed greasers in leather, and beauty queens sporting class rings and leather jackets. If it has wheels and was built here in the United States, you'll see it at Woodward. Hot rods and muscle cars, convertibles and hardtops, oversized tyres and custom painted flames, perhaps things that shouldn't even be on the road, but that is what makes it super cool and very interesting. Okay, we've got a cool dude now. We've got Charlie. How you doing, Charlie?
Good morning, Fletch. How are you?
Good. Tell us about your car.
It's a 1964 Ford Thunderbolt with a 427 high riser. I've had the car 3 years. It's got a 430 rear end in it, and it runs real well.
Original interior too, Charlie. That's superb.
Original interior. The car is original.
How does it make you feel to own this? Like, it must feel something, you know. You go back to your college days. You remember when these cars were new. How does it feel to have one now in 2015?
Oh, I enjoy it. I have a Dodge with a Hemi in it too, so I'm not real particular what brand they are as long as they're fast.
I don't think we can be one-eyed in our fraternity, because the big three, every one of them, they made some sensational vehicles.
Yes, they did. I also have a 427 Corvette, and I enjoyed all of them. I don't care what they are as long as they're fast.
It's going to be that way till the day you depart.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's guys like this that help to make Woodward the long tradition that it is, because it goes back so many years, doesn't it?
Yes, in fact, I was here the first year when Larry Payne was alive, and we came on a Saturday, and it wasn't anywhere near like this today. Yes, Fletch, you just told me about some tours that you have, and I'm telling you, the people got to go on them, because if it's been made, it'll be here. It's phenomenal. There'll be 1.5 million people here today, and God only knows how many cars. As you can see, there's 8 lanes, and it's solid cars.
Good on you, Charlie. The check's in the mail, and you can see it on a Fletch tour. Check it out at allthingstravellara.com.au. Charlie, it's been a pleasure having you on today's episode.
Fletch, it's been a pleasure, and I'm glad you guys came up.
Moving through the incredible 2015 Woodward Dream Cruise, time for Phil. Hello, Phil.
Hi, Fletch.
I'm just picking on your car. It's got nothing to do with my age, and your car being a 1965 vintage. Have a go at this. Dodge Coronet. Beautiful car. Tell us about it.
Thank you. I've had it about 3 years now. I bought it from a guy in Virginia. I was pumping gas as a child back in '69, and a fellow I worked with had one. And every once in a while, he tossed me the keys and asked me to run up to the auto parts, and I'd disappear for a half an hour, and I said, one day I'll have one of these. That was 45 years later. I finally bought one.
I love this. I love this. I know it's a bit of a cliche question on the show, or a comment on the show, about going back to our early days, like, the case of you guys, back to your college days and your high school days, when these cars were new. They were so symbolic to the United States of America. And then getting now to a time of your life where you can now have one of these great cars.
Afford one, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a gorgeous black. What sort of black is it? Is there a name for the black?
I can't take credit for the paint job. I know it began life as a turquoise and white car.
We'll just put it down to a dark black.
It's a dark black. Yeah.
Okay, highlighted by a sensational red interior. That's beautiful.
Right. The red stripe on the rear quarter, and the interior is supposed to be out of a Viper. It's supposed to be a Viper red, is what I'm told.
Out back there, 8 3/4 rear, Phil?
Correct, 8 3/4 rear end.
Your ratios?
It's a 355.
Right.
Yep.
That's nice. Nice off the line.
It's a nice balance.
Talking of balance and all the weight over the front, we've got to talk about the 440 next. What have you done there?
It's got it's competition hooker headers, Edelbrock high rise, 850 double pumper.
It's guys like you that certainly do this event proud. There's not one car the same here. It's the level of variety. You don't know what you're going to see.
You never know.
That's what makes it all interesting.
Absolutely, Fletch. You wait long enough and you'll find exactly what you want. It might take a while, but you'll find it.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
You're watching the amazing 2015 Woodward Dream Cruise, and you're seeing it first on Classic Restos, thanks to Shannons Insurance, Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Pace Farm Eggs. We'll be back with more classics right after this.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
In 1926, Australia's Penrite Oil Company was established. Almost 90 years of research, development and refining under the harsh Australian conditions has made Penrite Oil what it is today. Precision, performance, reliability and protection. Championship winning products. Trust Penrite.
If you need a new piece of equipment for your workshop, you need Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Hare and Forbes Machinery House have showrooms around Australia and New Zealand that will have you browsing for hours. See the largest range of industrial and workshop DIY tools. You will be greeted by friendly, helpful staff, and you can buy from anywhere online at machineryhouse.com.au. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Find your closest store at machineryhouse.com.au.
To give you an idea of the enormity of the Woodward Dream Cruise, not only is there all the action out there, but there are park-ups along the 11-mile stretch of road as well. I'm standing here in Memorial Park at 13th Mile. where a shady environment becomes home to many hundreds during this amazing one-day event. It's time now for a GM Classic on today's show. And we have Larry. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing great, Fletch.
That's good. I love the name Larry. It's a real American name, isn't it?
It goes back a ways.
It does. Love your car. All right, we've got a 1961. It's an Impala SS and it's a bubble top. Now, you've done some different things to this car. Tell us what you've done, Larry.
Well, we took the body off the frame. We redid the frame, powder coated it. We put an LS3 with a 4L65E transmission in it, a Ford 9-inch in the back with 370 gears, Arbor locker. And we redid the interior with 2006 Pontiac GTO bucket seats and leather and the original 1961 cloth interior as the inserts for the seats.
Now, Larry, the theme of the car, you wanted it totally original on the outside as per 61 stock.
Correct.
And under the hood, there's a difference. We've got a different interior as well. It's a nice contrasting interior. How did you go with fitting the later model interior inside? Everything went well?
No issues whatsoever. I mean, it fits perfectly. We custom built the center console to fit the build. We covered the seats with the material, with brand new material, leather and the cloth inserts. And a real trick was customizing the rear seat to fit with the 1961 rear speaker cover. Yep. That was a little bit of a trick. And then to fit the air conditioning vents, in the front. But, as you can see, the finished product really looks sweet.
It's an outstanding car. I mean, the thing is, you've really, Larry does have best of both worlds here. I mean, you've got seats with bolster, nice and comfortable, as I alluded to earlier. It contrasts with the rest of the car. Now, engine up front, just walk us through specs, the capacity of what's going on there.
It's a General Motors Chevy Performance crate motor. It's an LS3 connected to a 4L65E electronic transmission. And so it's delivering about 460 horsepower as it sits. We have Sanderson headers on it. We did a dyno test, chassis dyno, and it dynoed 388 horsepower at the rear wheels. Wow.
That's enough to get to the store and back, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets up and goes, and I let it eat every once in a while.
You have to. Got to let the fire breathe. Now, being a 61 car, Larry, love those tail lights out back, aren't they? Aren't they something?
Absolutely, and they had those tail lights from 1960 through 1965. The three very distinctive tail lights, and the design of the car, the shape, the design, those lights in the back, I mean, they kill it. I just love it.
Larry, thank you so much for being on today's episode. So many cars, over 35,000, and here's a split TV episode today hosting one of the big three. I mean, it's like a drop in the ocean, but thank you for helping make it happen.
Thank you so much, Fletch.
Hey, getting yourself on a Fletch tour in 2016 is pretty cool. Have a look at this.
You deserve a Fletch tour. See the amazing Ford, GM and Chrysler Nationals at Carlisle events, along with museums and private collections in beautiful Pennsylvania, USA. Then it's the Motown city of Detroit and its region, taking in more die-hard stuff with incredible history, rounding off with the Woodward Dream Cruise, the largest moving car cruise in the world.
It just makes it so much easier on yourself when Fletch picks you up, drives you around.
Laughs, lots of laughs.
More than what I expected.
I'm definitely coming back again.
Go to classicrestos.com.au and click on the Fletch Tours icon for more information. Hope you're enjoying today's show. Back with more after this.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Penrite, Australian-made, family-owned and operated. Make premium quality engine and racing oils, warranty-approved coolants, automatic transmission and manual gear oils, a complete range of engine and fuel additives, heavy duty and industrial products for every application. Visit penriteoil.com for more information. Penrite, Australian made for Australian conditions since 1926.
If you need a new piece of equipment for your workshop, you need Hare and Forbes Machinery House. From a garage jack through to a lathe, Hare and Forbes has the range. And Hare and Forbes Machinery House are Australian owned, established since 1930. You will be greeted by friendly, helpful staff, and you can buy from anywhere online at machineryhouse.com.au. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Find your closest store at machineryhouse.com.au. Welcome back. This guy doesn't need any introduction. Les Gold, how you doing, buddy?
Fletch, I'm doing really well. Thanks for coming to Detroit and coming to the store.
That's okay. Look, you know, I think what an opportunity for you to be interviewed by Fletch.
What an opportunity for you to come to Detroit and interview me. That's what's important.
Gotta say, love the gold chain around your neck.
Well, thank you. Well, you know what? Since you came to the store, I thought you needed to look the part. Right. So I brought a few gold chains so your viewers will see exactly how you look like me.
Awesome. This is awesome. You know what? This is gold. Pardon the pun.
I pardon the pun. And this is a lot of gold.
Yeah, let's check this out.
Well, the first thing you need to do is, in case you have to appraise some jewelry, put on a jeweler's loop.
Right.
So this will be the first. I don't want to mess up your hair.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is your hair okay?
Yeah, my hair's
good. The next thing you have to do is make sure you have the less gold look-alike attire. So let's see if we can put this one on you.
All right.
If your head's not too big. Oh, your head may not be too big, but your nose might be. Oh, there we go. Watch out, your ear. Covered in your ear. And then if you really want to look the part, you need to put on another chain.
Right.
So let's check this out.
You're not going to try and sell these to me afterwards.
Well, I am, because I know the Australian dollar is close to the U.S., so we can make a deal. Let's try this one.
All right. We're going to talk about a Cadillac very soon.
Well, yeah, we'll get to the car as soon as you have the look. And you know what? We might as well put on the last one, which is 18 karat gold, probably worth $3,000.
Wow.
So I hope you have a credit card with you.
This is the most expensive that Fletch has been in a long time.
There you go. Well, let's put this on and then, okay, let's try this. Now you got the look.
How cool is that? I tell you, it doesn't do any favors for your lower back, does it?
It doesn't. That's why I go to a chiropractor.
And your workout as well.
I do.
This is so cool. So cool. Speaking of cool, there's something about a pink Cadillac and a 1959 Cadillac. Now, Les, we know you're a wheeler and dealer. You've got your contacts to get this stuff. Where did you find this glorious 59?
Well, actually, you know, last year we had the Dream Cruise that you were very fortunate to be at. And right after the Dream Cruise, a gentleman came in to sell me his 59 Cadillac. I ended up buying it from him, and it's going to go to my wife eventually.
Eventually? When's that?
Well, I don't know. She keeps complaining that it's not at our house. The problem is, do you see the size of this thing? When size matters, you need a garage that's appropriate. Our garage is a little too small.
It's the weight of a sea box.
It's unbelievable. It's the biggest car I've ever seen.
1959 Cadillac, the awesome 390 V8 engine, 325 horsepower standard, and also a 3.2-barrel carby option was available in the time, stepping things up to 345 horsepower. These were rocket ships.
Are you kidding me? It has all that power? Wow, I never would have imagined that.
And, well, here's the next bit that's going to knock you off your feet. 435 foot-pounds of torque.
Are you kidding me? 435 pounds? That's amazing.
I don't think Les would really care if it was 185. It's the look of the car. It is just awesome. Also being a convertible as well. I mean, there's plenty of hard tops around. That's a good score.
It was a good deal. You know, the guy needed some money. I gave him a fair offer, and we made a deal. It's great.
Absolutely. Now, selling something to you, I would think would be probably one of the hardest things on earth. I mean, you would have got this thing for the right price.
Have you not looked around the store? We have a 50,000 square foot store, packed to the brim with stuff. It's easy to make a deal as long as the price is right.
Absolutely. Now, also, everywhere you go, as a part of this guy's persona, he has his gold binocular
It's called a jeweler's loop. It's not a binocular. Bi means two.
Well, it brings things close, doesn't it?
It certainly does, especially when you're my age and it's very difficult to see.
Now, look, I've got something that's near and dear to my heart, and I was wondering you could possibly value it. Would you mind doing that?
I don't mind.
Well, I paid a fortune for these sunglasses
sunglasses quite a while ago, and here they are.
Let me see
and,
how they look on you.
Hang on a sec. I'm sorry, Les. I'm sorry.
So it just needs a screw.
Well, that's not the only thing.
Well, that's one of the major things.
Absolutely. So, what sort of value would be on these?
Let me see.
Yeah.
So these are really cool. You know, if I take my jeweler's loupe and I really look at it, wow, these are a one-of-a-kind item. Now they're a none-of-a-kind item.
I've always had a lot of admiration for this man. Now,
Till now? And now you don't?
Les, what are your plans for the Cadillac? What are you going to do with it? Because you've had this thing for a year, and you haven't even driven down the turnpike. What are you going to do?
We don't have turnpikes in Michigan. We have freeways. Sorry, you're in Michigan. What I'm going to do with it is, if my wife lets me sell it, it's going to be available. But for the way it is right now, she isn't going to let me sell it. So maybe next Dream Cruise, we'll sell it. You know what? That brings a good thing to me. Right. Don't you do these events in Detroit that you bring people from Australia to Michigan? The Fletch tours, you know, I knew that. You know, I know you do the show, and I'm really a fan of it. I see it on local cable stations here. But if I was somebody that lived in Australia, I would make it a point to go to Fletch tours and come to Detroit. We give behind-the-scene tours. We've been friends for a few years. What an opportunity to come see the city and be a part of history.
You know, it's my job to come up with the next line, but I think you've just taken every word away. Les, that is sensational. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Really, it's an honor every year when you come in. We so appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Now, on that note, you've got more cars out back. Is there something else you'd like to share with us?
There's a great couple of vehicles back there. Come inside and I'll show you. You know, you have like $10,000 worth of jewelry on you.
Is that how much?
That's how much. What, is it a surprise? I already gave you the bill. You just haven't given me the deposit.
I think the quicker we talk about cars, the better.
I think the faster we talk about gold, even better than cars.
Gold takes on a whole new meaning here with Les Gold. And the car behind us, his first car. Now, how old were you when you got the same type of Mustang, Les?
I was actually 16 years old. In 1966. Wow, that makes me kind of old. But I paid $1,650 for it. It was a 1965 that I purchased in 1966.
It's got emotional attachment. I often say that on Classic Restos. It takes us back to our younger days. You guys here in America were structured different to us in Australia. I mean, a lot of college kids used to drive these cars to school.
I did. Actually, when I went to college, I drove that car. You know, it's since I've had a few cars in between, but this is so nostalgic, it brings me back to being 16 again.
Les, what's the story with the old blue Dodge over the back there?
Well, that was in pawn. A gentleman came in and pawned it. I've had it in pawn for about a year now, and he's been paying the interest off. And hopefully he comes in and picks it up shortly. You know, if you looked around the warehouse, you see it's jam-packed. I always want to get different vehicles. Right behind me is a tractor. There's four-wheelers. There's motorcycles. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a lawnmower, you're in great shape coming in here.
You're in really good shape. Or if you're looking for a 1965 Mustang, you're in good shape too. There's nothing too unbelievable that you can find at the pawn shop.
Wedged in here in between the cubic capacity, we've got the green Monte Carlo over the back there as well. What's a quick rundown on that one, Les?
Same thing. People pawn vintage automobiles. That's just another one that's not in our personal collection yet. It's in the pawn warehouse.
You know, mind me saying, I mean, there's a lot of space here, but you could do with another warehouse or two or three.
We actually just purchased one across the freeway. So, you know what? From your mouth to God's ears, hopefully next year when I see you, it's going to be open.
On the TV show, you come across as, you know your stuff and you're forceful. You don't take crap off anyone. And I mean, in this game, you can't. What's the real Les Gold like? I think I know that. But behind the scenes, you got a heart of gold? Are you a soft guy? What's going on there?
Let me be perfectly honest. Nothing is more important than family. My family is most important, then comes the business, and then comes Fletch.
So I'm third?
Well, what can I say? You know, you were fifth last year, but every year that you come and visit us, you come up one notch. In the pawn business, you have to be strong, you have to be confident, and you have to know your stuff. I do that each and every day.
Les Gold, has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being on today's show. You can come and see Les on a Fletch tour in 2016. Check it out at allthingstravellara.com.au. Les, thanks again.
You better be here next year or we're coming to get you.
Man, he'll track you down, don't worry.
I will.
Well, I hope you've really enjoyed this incredible episode of Classic Restos. Just a little of the 2015 Woodward Dream Cruise, and of course our opportunity of catching up with Les Gold from American Jewellery and Loan. In the meantime, classicrestos.com.au is the website that you need for the DVD boxed sets of the show, Classic Restos merchandise, contact information on joining us on a Fletch tour, including Route 66 in 2016, and of course our major sponsors as well. As I say at the end of every show, no matter where you're watching from, until next week, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, signing off from Detroit, United States of America, and I thank you very much for watching. Is Classic Restos the first Australian TV show you've ever been on?
It's definitely the first Australian car show that I've ever been on. I've been on a few other ones, like Hardcore Pawn, which has been on for 3.5 years, I believe, in Australia.
I've heard of that.
You've heard of that. Well, you are the first car show and the last, because I'm only doing car shows with Fletch.
You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ClassicRestosTV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Pace Farm Eggs.